a major section of his torso and then some of his upper torso just obliterated.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? What is good? The king. Oh, baby. The king of lighting here today, bringing you guys and gals One Piece. Whoa. Jitudai Shudu One Piece Wa Chapter 892 review. Yes, a review of the latest chapter of One Piece Wa, which came out a few hours ago. Now, the thing here is this. I have done a live reaction of the chapter that's on twitch.tv. I'm going to edit it and whatnot as usual, but that normally takes a few days' time. You know, that's because I take my time to produce to you guys and gals quality. It is what it is. However, I figure let me have the reviews come out first, have my thoughts on the matter at hand first, and then have edited live reaction for you guys and gals. So we're going to see how this works for the next few months. I want to actually hone this down and see how things go, because I do have a lot of thoughts when it comes to this chapter of One Piece, especially pertaining to the end of the chapter, where the end of the chapter is like, wait, hold on.
And how fake.
Is Oda trying to lie to us? Is that a fake last page? When I was talking to the cats during the Twitch stream, it was like a big debate because we weren't too sure if it was real, if it wasn't real, and then trying to perceive the signs. One panel in particular, hold on, let me show you guys right now. I think I can show you guys the panels without worrying about any issues with Shueisha and whatnot. So when it comes to this panel right here, that swoosh, oh man, that swoosh, that one panel has stirred up a massive discussion, and we're all like, wait, is this real? Is this fake? It's nutty. It's nutty.
Holy Jesus.
All right, so let's hone it back down to the basics for those of you guys and gals that are new to the format, or for those of you guys and gals who haven't seen it in a while. We're talking about here the pacing and the chapter structure, the story progression, whether it is for the overall story or for the arc, and we're talking about character. Those are the three fundamentals when it comes to my review system. So first and foremost, when it comes to the pacing / chapter structure, overall, it was relatively okay and straightforward, nothing too crazy, because Oda spent most of his time focusing on just the stuff that goes on in the real world. So part one of the pacing is, simply put, the majority of the chapter being focused on Nami and company, and then Sanji and company, and then Capone and Big Mom, and how that all plays out. And then number two is a little focus on what's going on with Oven back on KO Island. And then number three is that we shift over to the mirror world. So there are, generally speaking, three parts to this chapter. Number one is clearly the vast majority of the chapter. Number two is just 2 pages because it's a double page spread. And number three is also another 2 pages, and that's really it. Out of, let's say, the 17 pages, 13 of them are dedicated to Sanji, Nami, and company in the real world and what's going down with Big Mom. So for the overall pacing and the chapter structure, I would say it's overall okay plus. When it comes to the character, honestly, it's very simple. But there's really only one thing. There potentially could be a 2, we're not too sure, but the second one ties predominantly to the last thing of the story progression. But number one is the character introduction that we get in this chapter. So number one is the 15th daughter of the Charlotte family, Charlotte Citron. And then number two, who I'm a pretty big fan of, because when I saw her, I'm like, you know what? Let me show you guys and gals. This is the 15th daughter, Charlotte Citron. And then here, big fan of the 16th daughter, Charlotte Cinnamon.
Oh.
Yeah. I am a huge fan, a huge advocate of Charlotte Cinnamon. Yeah. So So that is Charlotte Cinnamon, 16th daughter. That is Charlotte Citron, 15th daughter, and these are the two new characters, and they appear to serve under Charlotte Smoothie, who is the 14th daughter, and of course is a sweet commander. So my guess is that they are fairly powerful. I also want to point out that the sheath of Charlotte Cinnamon's sword matches the sheath of the sword that Charlotte Smoothie is wielding. So I'm not too sure if there is any correlation there. There may be, because we do know that Katakuri was rocking a spear, mole spear. It is a famed weapon. We do know that Cracker was rocking a famed sword, a Meito, pretzel, I believe it was called. And so based on those two, you would easily assume that Smoothie has a famed blade as well. Now, I wonder if that applies to Cinnamon.
Maybe.
I'm not too sure. So that's number one when it comes to character. Number two for character, this is a big maybe.
Maybe.
Luffy and observation hockey at the end of the chapter. Now, this correlates with the last part of the story progression. So let me talk about story, and then we'll go back to Luffy and his Kenbosho Haki. So once again, when it comes to the character, very simple. Honestly, it's okay, like subpar to okay, because I'm not going to say that Luffy actually using Kenbosho no Haki at the end of the chapter, I'm not going to say it's confirmed by any measure. No, by no measure is it actually confirmed. So I can't say it's solid for character development or characterization. But when it comes to character introductions, we do have those. And these characters appear to be of note, but will they play a big role in the upcoming chapters? I'm not too sure. All in all, I would say for character, the chapter is fairly subpar. Now, when it comes to story progression, this is, I would say, the meat of the chapter. Number one has its own subcategories. So number 1A, Big Mom herself is diverting, and she is now going and following Capone's ship, because that's what the wedding cake is. And Capone is leading Big Mom and company to Liquor Island. That's number 1A. Number 1B is that following Big Mom is now Perro Sparrow and Bravosi, whatever his name is, right? They are now following Big Mom because, of course, they're worried that Capone is going to try and take out Big Mom via the cake because the cake is poisoned or there's some kind of bombs in it and such. Perro Sparrow tells Lady Smoothie to follow Sanji and company as they go to Cacao Island. That's number 1B. Number 1C is that Sanji, he is back on the ship, and Pudding is now with them. So Pudding is now tagging along. What I did find very surprising was that there was really no interaction between Nami and Pudding, considering how Sanji, when he was doing a belly dance on top of like the front section of Capone's ship, Pudding, I'm assuming, saw that. And when Nami and Pudding meet, I didn't see it at first, but later on when I was talking to Twitch chat, they noted that there's a very small picture of Nami pointing at Pudding.
Man.
They don't really hash things out, but there is talk between Pudding and Chiffon and Luffy and company when they're running from Big Mom in the Seducing Woods. And Pudding, her emotions are all over the place because that's when we're really getting a sense of Pudding's mental instability because Sanji said that her eye was beautiful. So essentially, things were very shaky, and I thought that there would have been some interaction, maybe even a cat fight between Nami and Pudding, but no, nothing of the sort. Again, all the chapter offers is just Nami pointing at Pudding, and that's it. So that was a bit disappointing for me personally, but the fact of the matter is that Pudding is now tagging along. And also, I guess for character, you can say that, well, Rabian has some super express speed, and with this express speed, he can go from Capone's ship to the Sunny Go in a few seconds, and no one notices. But at the same time, is it really character considering how it's just a homey carpet? Okay, it is character. Fair enough, but it's not anything that's substantive. It really isn't. Because again, we're talking about a magic carpet homie. But that is it when it comes to story progression. Number 1, subcategories A through C. Now number 2 for story progression. Basically what's going on Cacao Island. There is a massive fleet that is surrounding the island because everybody and their great grandmother on Totland knows that Luffy and company, that's their meetup island, Cacao Island. Now also another major reason why this fleet is there is because of what Stussy said to Mondor in the previous chapter. Because we do get a text bubble of Mondor, I'm assuming talking to Oven, about how he was informed that the Chateau collapsed because of the actions of Monkey D. Luffy and company. And now he's mega freaked out about that. Of course, Stussy lied, duh, but Mondor, who was on high alert, is now on massive high alert, and he sends in, like, I'm assuming, every tart ship that they have to surround Cacao Island. And on top of that, we have a single mirror on Cacao Island that is being kept unbroken, while the other mirrors on the island will be broken to corral Luffy. Basically, in order for him to get to Cacao Island, in case something happens in the mirror world that the Big One Pirates can't anticipate or can't perceive, the only way for Luffy to escape will be through that one mirror. So the Big Mom Pirates are essentially setting up this big trap, the final trap on Cacao Island. Now, clearly, this is where German is going to come in there. They're going to pulverize the vast majority of the army. We also may see come into play the Fishmen as well, because the Fishmen, Parline, and Aladdin and company, they're probably still there too in the area. So they may assist as well, because again, we're talking about probably every tart ship that the Big Mom Pirates have available surrounding the entire island. And mind you, it is not a small island. You have mountain ranges and such on the island. Yeah, that is not a small island. So most definitely, they are making sure that they are 100% prepared for anything that goes down. Unfortunately, they're not aware that Germa 66 is still very active. Most definitely, this is when Germa's going to come into play and do their thing. So that is number 2 when it comes to story progression that set up that trap on Cow Island. And number 3, the big shocker at the end of the chapter. It appears that Monkey D. Luffy has been defeated, or at the very least, gravely, immensely wounded by my main man, Charlotte Katakuri. And that is it when it comes to story. I would say that story is where the chapter is strongest, and I would say overall that is a good plus when it comes to this chapter, One Piece. And overall, you have an okay plus, you have a subpar, and then you have a good plus. I would say the chapter is an okay plus to good. That is a 6.75 out of 10. And that is my rating of this chapter. I can't give any higher because we really don't know what's going down with Luffy in these last few panels. We really don't. So, we go to the mirror world. Luffy versus Katakuri. Luffy gets slammed, and then Katakuri says, "Don't stand up again. Where do you see a chance of your victory?" And then he says to himself, little by little, his color of observation hockey is approaching mine. And then what we see is something inbound. At first, I didn't perceive that at all. I thought that it was a dot over Luffy's head because there was a wall behind Luffy. However, it's something that's coming from inbound from the distance. And I guess you can kind of tell because there are these line shadings over it. And then from there, something goes through Luffy's leg. This I did not see. And it appears to be some type of needle. We're not too sure exactly what that is, but something clearly goes through Luffy's leg. And then we have a very strange section of panels here. So then Katakuri says, if I don't get rid of him now, what if there's even a 1 in a million chance that, and odds are that 1 in a million chance is gonna go down. That's my definite guess. But then Luffy says to himself, huh? Then he says, huh, again. Now, Luffy's looking down, and I'm assuming that he's looking down at the wound that he just received. And then he says, huh, again, and we see Katakuri cocking back. Now, the argument that came up during Twitch chat was a few things, but the first thing is this a real attack? Has Luffy used color of observation hockey to predict that someone's going to shoot him with something, and in fact, he's not wounded at all? Because what we see in this small left-hand panel, when Katakuri is cocking back, and it's hard to tell, honestly, but there is really no blood where Luffy's leg is. Now, granted, the problem is that it's all black, so it's hard to see. I mean, clearly, it's all black. But that was a big debate because we weren't too sure if Luffy was bleeding. It could have all been fake. He could have actually seen the future, and he thought that he got shot, but when he looks down, he's actually not shot. And then the next thing is that Katakuri, he sees that probably, and so he's cocking back, a chance to take out a major threat. For me personally, I don't like the idea that Katakuri, who was already dominating Luffy, needed outside assistance to actually take out Luffy. But that's what happened. I don't like it. I really, really don't. But that's what's happening. That doesn't help Katakuri's case when it comes to a genuine one-on-one fight. Clearly, Luffy, he has to dodge this spear thrust. But again, we have this very strange blur panel. And then after the blur panel, we have Luffy get this major wound. It harkens back to Akainu and Whitebeard, where Akainu blasted off half of Whitebeard's face. Just the damage, a major section of his torso, and then some of his upper torso just obliterated.
What?
What is going on there? That drill spear thrust went right through Luffy's side, coughing a lot of blood, deep regret, and then we have a small panel of clearly Flambe laughing. So now the next question here is this real? Is this last page fake? Did Luffy actually get stabbed by Katakuri? And this blur effect is not to signal a movement, because I thought it signaled a movement where he tried to dodge the attack, but because he got shot in the leg, he couldn't dodge the attack, and he stumbled, and as a result, he gets stabbed by Katakuri. Or is it an effect that indicate that he used Kambosho Haki, and this image, like with Mihawk in a sense, he is seeing the legitimate oncoming future. He knows that he is going to get blasted by Katakuri. Is this future sight that we're seeing right now at Luffy? I'm really not too sure. And then again, it ends off with Flambe right here laughing in the corner. So clearly she was the one that attacked Luffy. Is this final page fake? And was Luffy shot to begin with? It's very questionable. I'm gonna take it at face value. I'm gonna say that Luffy just got rocked hard by Katakuri. And Luffy if Luffy can continue to fight despite this grave wound, what the fuck? Because Luffy right now, honestly, he's fought against Katakuri for a period of hours. And according to Flambe, when she hopped in, she had seen Luffy already take fatal wounds from Katakuri. And Luffy continued to get up in Terminator fashion. He just continues to march and attack Katakuri. That is something that we have never seen Luffy be able to do, where he can take repeated fatal blows and continue the fight over the course of hours. We've never seen Luffy do that, but here is Luffy. Granted, that was mostly off screen, unfortunately, Oda, right? Unfortunately, but here is Luffy nonetheless, taking major, quote-unquote, fatal blows that would have killed other people by now, and continue to fight. But here, apparently, is the most fatal of all the blows. Clearly, it's like, dude, like this whole section is gone. But is that real? Is what we're seeing with Flambe real in the corner? When we see her in the side just laughing like this, we know that Katakuri, when he saw the legitimate future, he knew what that guy was going to say before he even attacked Capone's men. And he knew how it was all going to play out. So within that spectrum of Kambosho no Haki, Luffy being able to see her laugh would be a part of it. Luffy, he's done. Like, this fight is over. Or it continues and Luffy, he muscles through like Whitebeard. He muscles through like Whitebeard and then proceeds to beat Katakuri. But that is this chapter. All in all, I would say, once again, it is an okay plus a good chapter. That is a 6.7 out of 10, and I am done. So I'm going to see you guys and gals later. Be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device called Zmouse Sue, and you use Zmouse Sue to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad. Please do. Let me know your thoughts. Comment in the comment section down below. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day. Wow, that ending. Nutty. Absolutely insane. Utterly ridiculous. Just like, what? Deep regret. Laughing. Have a nice one.